This is the Daily Dirty.
The Daily Dirty. Breaking pop culture news, influencer drama, and everything in between.
Daily Dirty.
On Unwell On Air.
Welcome to the Daily Dirty. I'm Sequoia Holmes.
I'm Fiona Seqouia.
And I'm Kelsey Darragh.
Hey, Kelsey.
Hi, girly pops.
So excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Kelsey and Sequoia are friends from BuzzFeed days.
Yes, from the BuzzFeed
She's
days
so
in the old days.
That's true. Yeah, we go way back.
And Kelsey does, just a bunch of stuff,
Oh,
honestly.
Lord. Too many things.
Confidently Insecure podcast.
Yeah, that's my podcast.
That's your
Come on, have
podcast.
a listen. We're
I
talking
can't wait
about
to
crazy
listen.
shit.
Tell us your whole lore, Kelsey, because
Oh
I feel
my
like you have
God.
so many niches, so much stuff.
It's called ADHD and
Uh-huh.
not having enough therapy. Also being a Gemini rising and moon probably. something to
Period.
with
That'll do
that.
it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've been on the internet for far too long, like 15, 16 years now. So I kind of touch a little bit of everything. I do a lot of mental health content, kind of like from the BuzzFeed days, the token bisexual, the non-monogamous girly. When someone needs to talk about open relationships, I always get a call. Or if people want like happy dog content, I got like a randomly famous internet dog.
Yes.
Over the Panini hippo, my baby.
Yes.
And people love him.
Over the Panini hippo.
Over the pandemic.
Sorry.
You know,
I was
when we
like-
couldn't
I was
say
like,
that
Panini
word.
Emma?
And so now we call it the panini.
Yeah.
But Emma, our producer, actually knew you
I
from
know your dog.
from
very
Hippo.
well.
Crazy. I can't go anywhere without people recognizing
He's
him
the
now.
cutest dog ever.
He's a 50-pound staffy,
50
aka
pounds?
a mini pit bull.
Wow. He looks really small in person.
He little
like when you
baby.
see him in person, he's like a little dog.
He's the
He's kind of
best.
stocky.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like the best breed advocate because people are so terrified of pit bulls, and then
Right.
they see this little potato come around the corner who's
Yeah.
just like belly up baby. He's such a ham.
Cute.
He
Yeah.
looks like a little hippo.
He is.
Yes.
He's a little house hippo.
And so his name is Hippo.
Yeah,
Cute.
The internet kind of named him that. His shelter name was Spike. And then when I
Ooh,
saw
which
him,
I
I
do
was like,
like.
yeah, but when you see
not
him,
tough.
you're like,
He's
Yeah.
just not tough.
no,
Yeah.
he's just not tough at all. And so the internet was called, when I was posting videos about him, they were like, look at that hippo, look at that hippo. And I'm like, hippo.
That's
Hippo.
cute.
Yeah,
I like that. That's really cute. What the internet doesn't know is that Kelsey also has cats.
I do.
Yes. I don't know if the internet knows this or not. I didn't know
You're
this for a long
exposing
time.
me.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to be a cat girl.
Yeah.
So I have two cats, Leo and Larry, 15 years old. But I believe you can be both.
Yes.
I think you can be a
You can be
dog
both.
person
I am both.
and a cat lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
like that.
have
I think I'm both.
Yeah.
I grew up with dogs, but my roommate had a cat. Fell in
Yeah.
love with cats. If you're an animal lover, you're an animal lover, and you can figure
Yeah.
out how to connect with.
We're complex
both.
women.
100%.
Okay?
People.
We can do it all.
Everybody loves a dog, and I feel like
Yeah.
you kind of have to be introduced to cats in order to realize,
Yes.
oh, I also like cats,
Yes.
because you just assume you don't because the world tells you that you don't like cats.
Everyone has the villain era of
Yeah.
like their personality, and that's my cat side.
Yes.
Right? That's my spicy, sexy,
Absolutely.
like row. And then I've got my like happy-go-lucky everyday dog personality too.
Spicy, sexy, round.
Yeah, my cats are very sexy.
very sexy.
Leo and
looking.
Larry.
Leo
bring
and
the
Larry.
sex.
Yeah.
And so, Kelsey, which platform did you start posting on 15 years ago?
my
Because
God.
now you're big on Instagram, you got TikTok, you got your podcast, but like
Yeah.
15 years ago, what was the landscape?
So this is like real throwback lore. If you remember this, you've been on the internet for a while. But
Okay.
15 years ago, before virality or like viral videos was even a word, I made a video called "Shit Girlfriends Say." It was
Cute.
just like
Wow.
a moments inventory, like a
Yeah.
montage of me saying shit that like all crazy girls say to their boyfriends, like "You
Okay.
cheated on me in my dreams," or like
Yeah,
"I'm
yeah.
hungry." And
Oh.
that went like 10 million views in a week back in the day, like 2010
On YouTube?
on the tube.
Oh,
Wow.
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute. You mean I don't have to like ask anyone to do this? I can just post things and I don't need to wait for like an agent in Hollywood. I can just make funny sketch videos. And yeah, I was part of that era, like way back.
Nice.
I'm older. Okay. I'm wiser. I'm turning 35 next month. so,
Nice.
Well,
Nice. Wait, I didn't know that you made that video. And
Yeah.
also, I feel a little dragged because, if you cheated on me in my dreams, that's a problem.
That's what we're gonna
You
have
need to
beef.
answer for that right now in waking life.
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
think that's like a
I do love when my friends do that to their boyfriends and
Yes.
just like make it. Yeah, like actually, I'm mad at you because of what you did in my dream last night.
Because why would I dream that? I'm intuitive. Why would I dream that? Explain yourself.
It was in great detail. I could tell you everything
I
that
can.
happened.
I
Yeah.
can.
And why would you do that to me?
Right. Right. Meanwhile, Garrick's like, yeah, you were twerking in my dream last night.
Also,
we were at the club and you were
Right.
drunk. Yeah.
Oh, wow. We had different dreaming experiences, bud.
I love Garrick. That's the homie.
Kelsey, you have a lot of Gen Z pop culture knowledge, though.
I do too much.
You're aging yourself, but you're all up in there,
I
right?
stay with the youth. I
All
want to know
up
what's
in
going
there.
on.
So you make a lot of content. You said about mental health, and your podcast is Confidently Insecure.
Yeah.
But you also talk about pop culture.
Yeah, I can't help but live a little vicariously. I mean, I think all of us as influencers do. We don't fully fall into that like celebrity category,
Right?
Because we share these like parasocial relationships. So I still like to be a part. Like I still like to know what's going on. What's
sure.
the haps?
Of
Like,
course.
What are we talking about at the water
I
cooler?
actually like when even A-list celebrities, like you know how Rihanna is a big Bravo TV
Yes.
girl
Yes.
and loves Real Housewives,
or like Meg
Yes.
on Love Island,
or Meg on Love
She was
Island.
so into it. I really do love when that happens.
Wait,
because
have
it
you
feels
guys
like we're all
ever-
watching the same stuff.
We are.
Have you guys ever had like a traditional celebrity be like a fan of yours?
Huh. I'm trying to
Just
think.
Sequoia Holmes.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's
Not that I
weird.
know of.
No, Kelsey, have you though? I feel like you asked us that question knowing that you're like, well, actually, Rihanna said something.
As soon
to me.
as I asked it, I was like, shit, they're going to ask me
No,
what mine is, isn't it?
Yes,
I'm
I do
panicking.
wanna know.
One time, Khloe Kardashian tweeted about a show I was on
Ooh, cool.
on E! That she was like obsessed with it. And
Really?
I was like, all right, cool. I'm packing it up. I'm done. We're good.
Period.
I got all the validation I need. She's the cool one. I can walk away happy.
I'll never have a 9-to-5 job again.
And I
baby.
haven't.
Yeah.
I have not.
Period.
And what show was that on E?
It was called Dating No Filter. You can watch
Cool.
it on Hulu. It's the first LGBT like dating comedy show on.
Oh,
E!
nice.
Yeah.
Fun.
Very fun.
Yeah.
So you've done so many different things.
She's
Like
written
it's really
books.
inspiring.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
because
have
you're a
books,
writer.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got my fingers crossed second book manuscript due on Friday.
Okay.
And this one is all about breakups and like the science of breakups, because I definitely have projected this personality online about being like
Yeah.
the big sister, the strong, independent girly. And then anytime I went through a breakup, I was fucking floored, like absolutely shattered on the ground. And so
Yeah.
I really wanted to know, like, why did these relationships crush me so deeply when I don't get that way about anything else in life?
Yeah.
So that one is coming out later this year.
I'm so excited to read that one because I've very much wondered that exact thing. While I like haven't been broken up with very much, my
tea.
high school / college boyfriend broke up with me for maybe like 72 hours or something.
How dare
When I fucking tell you, I laid on the floor in the corner in college in a fetal position
No!
for like 4 hours.
No!
I had a bottle of fucking Kahlua
No, not the Kahlua!
alcohol, and I'm just like drinking it. So sad, so sad. I could not eat. I could not stand. It was horrible.
It's been really fascinating to dive into the science behind breakups, because it really in your brain it is the same chemicals as a death.
Yes.
So we don't understand
Whoa.
why we can see the person in the flesh. In fact, we could
Yes.
text them if we wanted to.
Yes.
But they've detached from us. And so just diving into the science
Ooh,
and
this
also
is so cool.
yeah, talking about just like all the terrible things I've done post breakups. I feel like the things we would never actually admit
Whoa.
ever that we've done or
Whoa.
like gone a little crazy, just
Yeah.
breaking those down and figuring out and trying to hopefully make people feel not as, broken.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
absolutely.
so excited for the book.
Oh, thanks.
too.
I'll send you guys for the arcs.
Thank you.
We can read on TDD.
I love that.
I have a question for you. Maybe
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
give me some advice. You do all these really cool creative projects. How do you time manage and like feel like you can give certain projects energy? Because I'm kind of struggling with that right now.
I would say I'm not doing it very well. Like I've always gotten advice from my mentors or like my agents and stuff like, hey, giving 10% to 10 things is not the same as
Right.
giving. But unfortunately, in this day and age, as the kind of creators we are, we don't have that luxury. Like we gotta pay the rent, baby. We gotta keep the checks.
Especially
coming
with
in.
social media, because it
100.
doesn't stop. There's always more that you could be doing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I would say Adderall and meditation. Like
Okay.
balance it.
Okay.
You know,
Those
like,
are two
Adderall,
opposite,
meditation.
two opposite
yes,
things.
but it's like get a little of everything. You
Okay.
know? Like cold plunge, but also don't be afraid to party on the weekend with your friends. Like you
Nice.
can have those outlets still.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, like if you're in kind of like a sprint mode, sprint it out. But then also when you're relaxing, like actually relaxing, get off social. I think when you're never really taking a break is hard too, because then you just get burnt.
Totally.
Get burnt
out.
Yeah.
No, that's
and a
so
Google
real.
Calendar that keeps my life.
Love a Google Calendar. Kelsey is like one of my favorite people to hang out with, because you are a wellness girly in the same way that I am. So we're going out.
Nice.
Kelsey's like, yeah, it's bedtime. It's like time to go home at 8:30, and I'm like, yes.
We look at
Thank
each
you
other
so much. She's like, yeah, my aura said this, like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go cold plunge. I'm gonna do all this, and I'm like,
we are the same. Like, we want to be seen in our little outfit.
Hello.
We want to get the good pic. We want to have the experience. We want to be present with our friends, and then we want to get the fuck out of
and
there.
I want to be in bed by 10.
Okay,
Face
because you
mask, we're
strike
done.
me as like extroverted, like dancing on the tables at the club kind of gal.
I mean, okay, listen.
And
I
is.
was doing that for a very long time. I like to tell people I was raised in Florida, so I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, smoked it, fucked it, sucked it, like out of the way. And then I decided.
Are you actually? You're from Florida?
Like I grew up in Tampa.
Okay, nice.
Or Tampa, 813. Shout out to my girly pops.
I've
but
never been to Tampa, but I
don't.
know all about it.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
There's nothing good for you there that is worth a visit. But I actually got sober from drinking alcohol I just celebrated my 6-year sobriety anniversary the other
Congrats.
day. Thanks.
Yes.
But yeah, I was very much known as like, especially at BuzzFeed, I was kind of known as like the drinking alcoholic wine, like to keep up with all of
Alcoholic
them.
on the team.
Yeah, but like super successful and happy, and it was totally fine.
Truly.
So
And
then when did that
yeah.
switch come? You said 6 years ago, but
Yeah.
like what was kind of your journey to being like, actually, I'm going to start I can
Yeah.
still be that friend who goes out and has fun,
Sure.
but I'm not going to drink as
Yeah,
much.
I tried to do like the program, or AA as they call it, and it just wasn't for me. And I thought you either had to be in the program, like calling yourself an alcoholic, or you were still drinking and partying. Like,
Okay.
I didn't know that there was this sort of like sober, curious, middle ground, like mindfulness sobriety that existed. And so for me, it was really about looking at my life and my job and my career and saying, I am very successful as an alcoholic. I'm never going to stop. Like, why would I stop if I can do everything I'm doing and still go to work on time, still do the videos, still go viral? I'm never going to stop. The only thing that is going to stop if I make the choice to do it.
Wow.
And so I kind of took it as like a little challenge for myself. And I always say this, like, I'll never try to convince you guys to stop drinking, but I will just keep shouting from the rooftops about how much better life gets without alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I still participate in fun activities. Don't get me wrong.
Just not that one.
Just not that one.
Yeah.
Because, I can go into about like how alcohol, ethanol, poisoning your body.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
absolutely.
And there's a lot other kind of fun party favors that you can do that don't require you to do what alcohol does to the nervous system. But that's another episode for another day.
That's fair. I told you I don't drink. I don't know if you know this.
I did know that.
Yes, I don't drink.
That's why you're glowing so deeply.
I did drink for the first time in a while on Juneteenth. Because I went to a day party. I had one drink. I felt so fucking buzzed, and it felt I was having the time of my fucking
day
life.
drink.
It was so
Juneteenth,
good.
Gotta have one.
A day party will always tempt
For
me.
sure.
A night party, I'm like, this is gonna fuck my
No,
sleep too much. I
yes.
can't do it.
But a
day party will tempt the hell out of me. And it was good.
After not drinking for a little while, I've also
yeah.
been exploring just like
Yeah.
my relationship with alcohol and have taken, taken a step back in terms of
Sure.
how much I'm drinking. And it is kind of fun when you take a break and then you have all you need is one
Oh my
drink.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
All you need is two.
one.
It's like I don't need to rip 7 shots
Oh.
to feel or to kind of
No.
I don't know, be chasing this feeling.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
better to be like day drinking, get one little buzz on.
A little bit.
And then you're
Perfect.
sober as hell by night. You don't have to do anxiety the next day.
Chug
Hangovers
some
Or you
water,
could
go
just
to
not
bed.
drink at all. And that's
Yeah.
another thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Daily Dirty is on YouTube.
No, it's not.
It's on YouTube.
Oh my God.
Every Thursday, you can watch an episode on our YouTube channel, Unwell On Air.
Stop.
It might be the
Subscribing right
episode with
now.
Kelsey. We don't know. So
Maybe.
if you want to see us, check it out.
Yay.
But today's stories, we got to get into it.
Woo.
Celebrities are jetting off to Venice as we speak for Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding. We talk social tips and tricks for our segment, Social Hacks. And Love Island fans, stay tuned to the end of the episode where we will recap last night's batshit crazy episode. But first, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have made their red carpet debut.
Oh.
At the Tight End University event in Nashville.
There's a really sexual pun
Oh,
in
fully.
tight end university.
They wearing those Spanx, those
You
really
know,
tight pants. Those
We
football
go into
men.
tight end university.
It just kind of gives
What a
like
compliment.
you're saying that like you're tight. Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you're tight.
There's
Okay.
something there. Tight End University was founded by
Say
Travis
that seriously.
Kelce, George Kittle, who plays for the 49ers, and Greg Olson, who's a sportscaster. So this is an annual 3-day summer training camp.
Okay.
The tight ends go down there and, quote, bond, collaborate, and learn amongst their peers while participating in a variety of activities. There's also a charity component. I think the concert that Taylor and Travis were actually photographed at, and Taylor did that kind of like spur of the moment performance. Proceeds from that is donated to charities of the Founder's Choice. Anyhow, this was technically Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's first red carpet appearance together.
Okay.
And fans are liking it because it's like, okay, this is cool. This is not the Met Gala. This is not the Grammys. It feels a little bit, you know, more casual, I suppose. And other people are, I think, maybe like me, kind of like, what's with the outfit? No, I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
I did have thoughts, but I was gonna leave them, but I did have thoughts.
Can I be the devil's advocate over
Sure,
here and be
please.
like, as much as I want to be like, what? I do think it's so cute that post Eras tour, you know, they had so many opportunities to walk a carpet together, but they chose this little like down home cut, like back to your roots.
Yeah.
Back to Taylor's roots.
Yeah, because
I feel that.
I mean, I'm a Taylor Swift country girl through and through.
Yeah, okay.
Our song is Slam and Screen Door, so I'm down with the Nashville of it all. All right, I'll say my hot take.
Okay.
Say it.
What is it?
Sometimes I'm like, I know that she knows how to dress like look better than this,
Yeah.
dress better than this,
Yeah.
because we saw it in our
Yeah.
song is a Slam and Screen Door. So it's just like, for me, I get a little irritated by the fashion choices because I'm like, I know you know this
She's-
isn't the best that
she's
you can do.
Fully doing it for relatability.
She's doing it for relatability?
Yes.
Okay.
She's not doing it because she thinks
And
that's what people should wear.
that really, really irks me.
me.
She's calculating, you know, she's gotta be. She has to think of every little thing. She can't, like, there's
You
nothing
can't
in her life.
slay and be relatable?
I guess
For
not. Like,
once? For once?
I know for once,
Not
right?
to her man's football camp.
Well,
like
that's
her
fair.
Bro,
That's
beer
fair.
drinking.
I feel like this is a good time for her to subdue a little bit, but I will say overall the outfits have suddenly not been great. Even though for a minute, for me, I thought she was one of the best dressed celebrities on red carpets often.
When?
And it seems like suddenly,
When?
maybe like
When
10
was
years
that?
ago.
10 years ago. It
Maybe
wasn't,
like
yeah,
10
that's what I'm
years
saying.
ago.
That was a
Not
while
recent.
ago.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, and then suddenly we're just like, oh yeah, I can't dress anymore. Haha.
I
I
Girl,
think
think
she's probably
stuck in 10 years ago.
tired.
I feel like her clothes are very outdated. Like this is getting very 2014 to me.
this
well,
is
you
giving
can get this at
2008.
Target. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think she wants people to be like, I could be like Taylor.
There's cuter stuff at Target though. I would have loved to seen her in a little like white, you know, country kind of dress and some boots and just style the hair. Like you could still be relatable and not be trying to do flashy brands and stuff and look better. The fact that it almost feels like you're trying to look bad rubs me so the wrong way.
Yeah.
Do you think it's also something to do with it was his event? Like, she didn't want to outshine. Like, look at that hair.
I can see that. But to be fair, he's not giving much to outshine. Like it's easy to outshine that.
Driver
well,
daddy.
Like you know, like it's just not. Nobody's giving at the end of the day. Nobody's giving.
he
Maybe
did-
that's why she's not giving.
He did change into a
She's never
crazy
gave. She
camo
hasn't
number.
gave us anything in a
Fiona's
while.
like, stop saying that as
Yes,
though she
I know.
gives. Sometimes she doesn't.
Fair enough.
That's fair. That's fair.
What were you saying though, Kelsey?
No, he did change into a crazy camo number the next night for, I guess, whenever she did that pop-up performance, which
Okay.
also I love that she did that pop-up performance because
I do like that a lot.
I
our
like that
girl, if you've seen the clips, she had a few drinks.
She had a little drinks in
She
her.
had
yeah.
a cocktail or two and was like, you guys, should I sing?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. But, like, what if I did? It's great. Someone give me, okay, fine. I'll do it. No,
Does
no,
anybody have a
I don't
guitar
want to
on
do
there?
it.
Yeah.
She just, it looked like she was having just a good old time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
and I like that for her.
I like that for her too.
Because especially with Eras Tour, I mean, she's performing back to back 3 hours a night, like
Crazy.
these crazy endurance kind of stamina tests that it must be fun for her to be like, I am a little tipsy. Give me the guitar. I'll sing a song. Like, that's probably such a different experience. The venue looked super small, more
Yeah.
intimate. So I imagine that, like, whew, okay, just like take a little stress off.
That's
Have
real.
some fun with it. I do like that for Taylor. I'm curious what song she sang.
She did
Shake
Shake
It
It Off.
the worst Taylor Swift song on earth.
Damn.
Okay, but hear me out. There were people there that said that they paid $50 to go to this event. Could you imagine paying $50 to go see the Taylor Swift?
Child,
No, that'd be exciting. I'd be pissed that she's saying "Shake It Off" in Nashville.
Is that the only one?
That
Like,
was the
did she
only
not
one.
do? She didn't do anything else.
No, she didn't want to. She didn't want to take the spotlight. She just wanted to kind of a little bit. take
Right,
the
just a little
spotlight.
bit. She didn't want our song to be a slamming screen door that day.
No, she saw people on a guitar.
How
and
are
she
you
was
gonna
like,
go back to Nashville and
And
not
not
give us something?
guitar.
A little country moment. Right. Anyways, I do like that this event exists because, as we talked about with the male loneliness epidemic, this feels like
how is this tying into
it
male
feels like
loneliness?
hey, I'm getting there. It
She's
seems
got
like
a point.
it seems like, the boys come together for 3 days. If they have to do it under the guise of learning football or whatever the fuck, call it whatever you need to call it.
They'll
If
do
y'all need to
everything
sit
but
there
go
and
to
talk and have
therapy.
fun,
Bonds.
and you want to call it tight end university, who am
Charity
I?
work.
At
It's
the end of the
literally
day,
charity work.
I'm happy y'all are chatting with each other, having a good time. It's very cute. I feel like 3 days is pretty brief. I thought it was gonna be like 3 weeks, like sleepaway camp.
how
you know what would be
can you
funny?
bond in 3 days
You
like that?
know?
Like, what trauma bonding is happening?
Well, when you never speak to another man, I guess you do bond pretty easily in 3
Yeah.
days.
It would be funny if, like, on the local levels or in friend groups, guys were starting to be like, all right, we have our tight end university weekend.
That
Their
would
little
be
summer
funny.
camps.
We got to go away and bond.
That's actually kind of cute.
I
Instead
know,
of calling
that
it
would
like
be
a
funny.
retreat, like we would, like we're going on a wellness retreat, but it's tight end university.
Honestly, whatever makes them suck less and talk about their feelings more.
Period.
I'm here
Ooh.
to
At the end of the
support
day.
it.
Yeah.
I'll
Or you
support
can
it.
suck more while you're there with the other men.
Leave it there.
You
And
can
then-
explore.
You know what I mean? You can explore.
No, wait, you just made it sound sexual.
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You
No,
can
I am
suck
here for more
some,
bisexual
and so you
men.
suck less. Suck more, so you suck less.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
you get that pent up
Aggression out.
What do you think football
homosexuality
is? Wearing
out.
tight pants, tackling each other. Come on.
But no,
That's
because
the most homo shit I've ever seen.
somebody needs to explain to me like the slapping of the ass in sports in
How they
general.
talk to each other.
Because how are you also overwhelmingly homophobic,
Mm-hmm.
and also because you have a ball in your hand, you're comfortable slapping another man on his ass.
Listen to what you just
Just
said.
say it's a little homoerotic, right? You
Yeah.
have a little balls in your hands. It's a
Yeah.
little homoerotic. You enjoy it, and that's okay. You don't have to be homophobic
You don't have
in
to
your
make
free
a whole
time.
charity event about it.
Right.
Like, just do it.
Also, they're all naked in the locker room together.
It all just I think it blends together. I'm currently dating an athlete. No
Ah.
bragging. But I did say, like, you're probably the only person that's seen more dicks than I have in
Mm.
your life. And he's like, well, you kind of just become numb to it. Like,
Oh,
you
okay.
don't see it in the locker room. It just kind of blends.
Really?
into
Like it's just like
body.
lower half.
Yeah,
Like
like-
flesh-colored lower half.
Yeah.
I think
everyone
they
knows
do
what it
think,
looks
well,
like.
you are dating an athlete. I'm just making this up. From maybe some of my friends who play college sports, they are clocking, like, who's got the
Oh,
biggest
fully.
D.
And they'll call
in
it
the
out.
They
locker.
are?
100%.
And they'll call it out to
Oh,
each
yeah.
other?
And they'll say it out on the field. They'll be like, well, that's because Jeremy's got that big old thing. And
Stop.
they're like, okay, that's how guys make friends.
Men
They're
are
fucking
so
weird.
strange.
If I had $1.
Wow.
Can you tell us more about how you met your athlete boyfriend?
Okay, we met on the apps.
Uh-huh.
We met on the apps.
Yeah.
And
Which one, Kelsey?
Okay, he was on the Bumble.
Don't
which I was
just say
shocked.
the
You was
apps.
on Bumble?
There was a Bumble. He was on the Bumble.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you slid in first. We know Bumble girls
Yep.
got to make the move.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And honestly, when I found out he was an athlete, I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to
Yeah.
talk to this person. But there was something that was just giving, like, gentleman.
Ooh.
He's fucking fantastic.
He's the best. He also plays soccer, which is like Europeans. They don't have that same stereotype as bad.
yeah.
Like you can be a
It's-
normal
and he's
person.
European.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you can play.
There's
sports.
the
Yeah.
answer. No,
There's
okay.
the answer. There's
Stop
the answer
dating
right there.
American men.
And he's a Gemini man.
Yes.
He's
You know
great.
it.
He's great. He's
he
great.
talks about
I
his
will
feelings.
say. He
We
talks
go
about
to
his
therapy
feelings.
together.
He's
no complaints.
fantastic.
Date an athlete.
We could talk about this forever, but we got to go to break real quick.
Yay.
We'll be right back. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding is happening this weekend in Italy, and the celebs and the fellow billionaires are flocking in.
Can you just say Jeff Bezos again? 'Cause
Jeff
you
Bezos.
You give him way too much culture for
Jeff-
that white man, bald-headed motherfucker.
He's with Lauren Sanchez, so
Fair.
naturally you kind of gotta, you know what I
He gets
mean?
a
You
little
gotta
bit-
give
he
what
gets
you
a
gotta
little-
give.
Okay.
Are you
fair.
doing that purposefully?
No,
Oh.
that's just how I say his name. Honestly,
that's
Jeff
what I
Bezos.
thought.
I don't know.
Jeff Bezos.
Like
Bezos.
It does make him sound. Isn't that funny? It makes him sound so much
Better.
better
Give
and
that
cooler.
bozo his name. Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bozo.
Jeff Bozo.
Got it.
The Italians are not going to give him that little extra
They're
credit.
mad.
They're
They're
certainly not.
mad. Okay, so Jeff Bezos.
Bezos.
Jeff I can't even do it. Jeff Bezos. Now I'm doing a whole wrong accent.
I love the bit.
Jeff and Lauren are getting married in Italy, in Venice, Italy, this weekend. It's a whole 3-day extravaganza, right? We got billionaires. We got a queen going. Queen of Jordan's going. We got all these A-list celebrities. And I guess the wedding venue in Venice actually had to be moved to a more isolated location because of security reasons. And a lot of local residents are pretty pissed off because they don't want this to turn into a whole amusement park for the rich.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
And we were talking about this earlier about how like that caliber of people, that much money and power in one tiny. I mean, Venice isn't huge.
No.
We as regular people should not know where this is happening.
I should have no clue at all. I shouldn't know that the venue changed. I shouldn't know the city. I shouldn't know
Why
the
do we have
country.
the invite?
Why
do I have the
phone
invite?
party
Like
pictures?
somebody's lips are too damn loose and did not follow the NDA.
Which is kind of interesting because it's not a huge wedding. It's 200 people max. Like, it's
Right.
less than 200. So, yeah, we have a copy of, it seems like, some sort of invitation. Maybe not the official invite to the wedding, but almost like a follow-up because they
Right.
changed locations.
Looks
And
like
it's
a
giving very
kid made
paperless
it.
post.
Yes.
Like it's giving very DIY.
Canva,
Canva,
for
you know?
And it says at the top, we are excited for you to join us. We have one early request. Please, no gifts.
Lol.
Yeah.
Y'all should have been said that.
Instead, we're making contributions in your honor with gratitude for you making the journey to celebrate with us in Venice.
So they didn't pay for
Donations-
everybody? That tells me they didn't pay for everybody to go to Venice.
Oh, hell no.
That's insane. They definitely should have paid for everybody to go to
He's like
Venice.
the most selfish billionaire. Hello. Of course he's not going to bust out that coin for their...
One of my best friends went to boarding school, and one of their friends that they met at boarding school was like in fucking Dubai royalty or something.
Okay.
Paid for everybody to go to their wedding in Dubai.
Because they're good people.
Jeff
probably.
Bezos couldn't
No.
pay for everybody to go to fucking Italy.
That's a great call.
Yeah.
very weird.
I mean, do you think like Oprah and Kim Kardashian are going to be like, okay, pay for me to go to Italy?
I would. If somebody was giving me a free trip, y'all
I
don't
feel
give a
like
fuck
Sequoia,
about
Sequoia
money I
you're a
have.
doesn't
good
need it.
person.
That's true.
These people are like, they want to do what they want to do on their dime. And also, plus, like, what the hell are you going to get the richest man on the planet as a get? Like, they know. They're like, nothing you could buy us would live up to the caliber of our taste. So don't even
Well,
waste your time.
that's
and
right. And he
money.
does seem tasteless, to be fair. So I do understand.
He bagged a baddie.
He did, yes.
But that's the best thing he's probably done.
Yes.
in
It
recent
does
times.
seem weird that, I mean, yes, you're inviting all these mega wealthy people who are going to take their private planes over to Italy. It's it's nothing to them. But to not even be like, I rented out this secluded private hotel in the countryside of Italy. Everyone pull up. It's on me. You know, like
Right.
something of that nature would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
His decisions here with the wedding, their decision just shows that the taste is off.
It's
taste is
off.
The decisions are off. The Canva invite is fucking off.
Like it's a purple and blue butterflies. Everything it's dragonflies. Shit is in black and white. It's just not.
It's messy.
I guess now would be a good time to tell you guys, which the court already knows.
You got invited?
Yeah.
You're going.
I'm going tonight. No, I saw Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez at dinner in Venice on Abbot Kinney a couple
our
weeks
Venice.
Our Venice,
You
not
saw
their Venice.
our
Our
Venice.
Venice,
The
fake
California.
Venice.
The
Yes.
fake
Wait,
Venice.
tell me everything.
Me and my friend are sitting there and we're at a window seat, right? Like a little bar, almost like overlooking the sidewalk. And I'm talking to her. I'm not really focusing on what's going on the sidewalk. And she goes, Fiona, someone famous is definitely arriving right now. And I look out and it's like a nice black, maybe Mercedes, like a sedan, not an SUV or anything. And you know, in LA,
That's
sometimes
not
people
crazy.
pull
Yeah.
up and I don't recognize them
Yeah.
because they're
All the time.
there's famous and rich people everywhere, and I don't
Yeah.
know whoever it is. And we see a guy gets out of the car and he has an earpiece
Oh,
in.
bitch. I'd be like, Obama.
I'm about to
So-
say it's the
Obama!
president level at this point. Okay.
So, right. Like, so then we see the earpiece and I'm like, oh shit, I wonder who this is going to be. You guys, we're sitting right at the window. It's sidewalk in car, right? So like 10
Front
feet from
view.
this car, from these people getting out of the car. They open the door. Who is it that gets out but Jeff? me and my friends start laughing so hard because we're just like, of anyone it could be, we're sitting there waiting. Who could it be? And it's Jeff Bezos, obviously richest man in the world, one of the most famous, recognizable people. He and Lauren come in. They're sitting right behind us all night.
Wow.
They're mingling with people. They are meeting up with people for dinner. They're standing at the bar, like super casual. It felt like to me that they were like, we kind of want to be seen.
This man is making himself too seen. Like, he's playing with fire here, being this, like, just being out.
I mean, you know what? If you were having alleged blood transfusions for younger people in order to make yourself look younger, make yourself look better over the years, wouldn't you also want to be seen?
Like, when your whole wedding.
Is that what Jeff is allegedly doing?
Allegedly.
He's getting stem cell stuff
It's
we
like
ain't even
stem
know
cell
about.
shit and like blood
True.
transfusions for younger people, so he's aging in reverse, allegedly.
But like
didn't look like it to me, but
your wedding is being moved because you're so hated by so many people that want to protest your wedding, and then you're just going out to dinner like a regular. I don't know. I think he's not, unless this man has like snipers that we're not seeing protecting his peace.
Do you know how sometimes I wonder how often a sniper is in my presence.
You're in its
Yes,
way.
because I watched a YouTube video of a sniper. And he was like, yeah, at any point, he was like a military trained sniper. He was like, I could literally get anybody at any point
New fear
if I
unlocked.
fucking feel
Thanks,
like
Sequoia.
it. And I'm like, word, is that right? So sometimes I'm at a restaurant and I'm like,
sick way to go though.
do you think they had a sniper like pointing at me and my friend?
right in the glass, right?
This bitch,
They're like,
this
"Laugh
blonde bitch is
one more
laughing
time."
a little too hard right now.
You're in the crosshairs. Like,
Jeff
like,
is used to girls
got
laughing
Blondie
at him
in the
though.
crosshairs.
You know, he's probably like used to that.
So that is like, I mean, they're just kind of operating on a whole different plane. The fact that you're going to Venice, Italy, which, yeah, of course, they're aware of Jeff Bezos and Amazon, who isn't, but that they are so upset with you having your wedding there. And there's no moment of looking in the mirror. There's no self-reflection. Or if there is, you're really just like burying that down.
He probably pays someone to get rid of it, the guilt. Like, you know what I mean? Some
Facts.
sort of ketamine
Siphons it off.
therapy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He puts it on
Hypnotize
someone
me
for
out of this.
100%.
He's like, I don't feel anything that I don't want to feel at
People
this
were
point.
like covering St. Mark's Square, which is that giant square with all the pigeons and the clock tower. They put like a giant sign saying, if you can pay for your wedding in Italy, you can pay your taxes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Gosh,
I mean, Europeans care more than we do.
Oh,
The
they're spicy.
Europeans be eating. When it comes down to this shit, they don't play at
They do
all.
crazy shit. They like fuck up museum.
I
Like,
love it.
paintings in the name of like animal right. Like they just
We're
don't
just
care.
like lazy as fuck watching Tight End University at home. Like,
We're
you know
like-
what? I'll order from
Right.
Amazon,
Well, like
whatever.
hashtag about it or whatever.
Right, we're like Love Island's on.
Yeah, I'm busy
we have to watch
tonight.
Before we get to Love Island, though, we have to do social hacks.
Talk about it.
The knife goes on the right side of the plate, darling.
I like that.
That was cute.
So cute, Emma.
Was that Colette?
Yeah, that was Colette.
Yeah. Cute.
Love
cute.
that stinger. Okay, this will be fun to talk about with you, Kelsey, just
I
because.
have no class. What?
No, because you've lived so many
okay.
lives. Your lore is so deep.
Sorry, no, that too. Also, lived a lot of lives.
Yeah, and because you, like, even with getting sober in the past 6 years, like how you've navigated that, if you have
Totally.
any tips and tricks in terms of like, because even me, like as I'm trying to drink less, sometimes it's hard when I go out to dinner with friends and they're riding a different wave, like they're ready to get saucy and I'm kind of like, wait, but like I'm, want to sleep 8 hours and wake up and go to Pilates. How do I
I've got
navigate
something
this?
for
Love that.
Okay.
This is like what helped me not only with the drinking part, but just anything in life that I'm trying to quit or scale back on. My therapist taught me this.
Okay.
It's a mindset trick where it's sort of like you're faking it till you're making it moment.
Yeah.
Where you decide before you go out, you look in the mirror and you say, I'm not drinking tonight. And you practice that. So you can say like, oh, I'm not drinking tonight. It's just period, point
Got
blank.
it.
You're already saying it to yourself. So when you do say it, it's a finality when you're saying it. There's no questions. There's a confidence behind it. Oh, I'm not drinking tonight.
Right.
No further questions, Your
And
Honor.
you know what you look like when you say it because you've watched yourself
Yes.
say it. So you can read the confidence. You're like, no, I'm not drinking tonight.
And it's not the first time you're hearing it
No.
come out of your mouth.
And you're like, oh, am I drinking tonight? Because I remember those nights.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes.
Well, actually, I don't remember them. That's why I had to stop.
Yeah.
But eventually that will also then turn into I don't drink. So
Right.
that
Right.
is eventually where I got to just be like, oh, I don't drink.
Yeah. That's a great one.
And the funny thing about like quitting drinking too is you'll realize how many people just don't want to be drinking alone. They actually don't care if you're like drinking with them or getting drunk with them. They just want the permission to drink. So I'll always say, "Oh, I don't drink, but please have one."
Yeah, 100%.
Have two.
People feel so much better when you give them that permission because they feel judged at first when you're saying, "Oh, I'm not drinking," or "I don't drink." They're like, "Oh, like
am I
you think I'm?" I think they think like, are you an alcoholic? Like, is me drinking going to trigger you? One. Or two, are you judging me for making the decision to drink when you're not?
That's a great call. So it's also giving them that permission after.
Yeah.
Okay, that I think is almost like the piece that I've missed sometimes, even in the past few months when I've gone out with friends and I haven't been in the mood to drink. You drink though, girl. Have a drink.
Have so much fun.
In fact, I'll order the I'll sometimes just buy
get
shots
us
to get the
around.
party. And here's the other thing you'll start to realize too as you re-examine that relationship. When I'm with a group of people, even if I'm the only sober person, when there's a group of drunk people, I feel drunk. I'm a silly, goofy, everyone's a little bit loosey-goosey, and you just like vibe off that energy, and no one's gonna be like, "Why aren't you drinking?" Like, it's just you'll find that the energy, the vibes are already there. You don't necessarily need the cocktail to make it like a fun time.
Kind of get permission to release those inhibitions because everybody else has released theirs.
Right,
like they're not inhibited. You're like, "Oh, okay."
That's probably the Gemini in you is good at like picking up other people's vibes and being like, okay, because not everyone can even do that, right? Like the whole group can be on one playing field, and if someone is kind of sitting in their own emotions, they can't match the group.
No,
that's a good. That is a good skill and a social hack. And I'm a Gemini rising too. Sequoia's Gemini
guys.
So I think that is like something that. A social hack. This wasn't what I was planning, but like something that I find a lot of success in is reading the room and matching energy and not putting your energy, like you don't always have to lead. You can kind of suss out how everyone else is feeling and then kind of just blend in with the group.
Yeah. I like that.
Now, a question that I have for you.
Oh, yes.
I didn't bring a social hack. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, you know who's going to have social hacks? Kelsey.
Me.
So a question that I have for you. When I was going through my little 72-hour breakup situation in college, I went out later that night to hang out with my group of friends. When I tell you that these motherfuckers had never asked me about this man up until this moment, and they didn't know that we had broken up, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, how is he?" What do you do when you're in the midst of like the most devastating physical withdrawals that you've ever felt from a person, and then someone comes to you and is like, "Oh, how's so and so?" Because they don't know.
I am so glad you freaking asked this because I was just editing this section this morning.
Perfect.
But the narrative of your breakup that you are telling yourself and your friends in the girly group chat will determine how you feel about the breakup. So there's something in our brains that has to do with the science of how we recall memories. Okay. Scientists have found that when we're looking back on a story, we're actually not remembering how it was. We're remembering the time we just told that story. So information can go in there and slip and change or dramatize, or we're using big aggressive words like "he never loved me," which isn't true. You guys could have been in love, but we use this aggrandizing language that our brain's listening to and going, okay, that's our story. That's our narrative. I'm sad. I'm really messed up about this. I'm actually very broken. This tore me up. So in the book, like one of the first exercises that I have the reader do is rewrite our safe narrative. So how are we going to tell our story in public? How are we going to share with our friends, our acquaintances, our doctors, or the people in your life that you're just like, how do I tell them that we're not together anymore? And once you've, of course, processed some of those bigger angry feelings with our close friends, we're just going to say stuff like, we're not together anymore, or we actually broke up, or, oh, he's my ex now. And again, when we detach those strong, bitch, listen to what this motherfucker did to me. Like once we take that out of it, our brains are going to say, oh, this is a lot safer than I thought it was. I can actually confidently tell someone that like we're not together anymore. So that's my hack.
Or in this instance where you're kind of navigating, right? Because he broke up with you. It sounds like you maybe got back together. Yeah. Would it be the safe narrative because you don't want to confuse your brain? It would be like, we're actually in a period where we're figuring things out right now. I'm not really sure how I feel. Like, is that okay? Because then your brain's like, okay, that is what's happening.
That's really
the truth.
good.
Yeah,
And, like,
that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like trying to stick with like the,
facts.
truth.
The facts. Yeah.
Not adding emotion.
Not adding all
to
these
the
emotions.
language.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I have one last dating relationship social hack that I was seeing online, and I'm curious your guys' reaction to this.
Yeah.
Online right now, a girl's, her videos catching traction saying it's like a napkin summer, meaning this is the move. Yeah, which kind of caught
does
me.
that
What does
mean?
that mean?
Right?
Right. Okay.
Right? I was like, what
I'm
is
on board.
Yeah, just
what is
making shit
napkin
up.
summer?
Right. Okay.
But then it caught my attention because I was like, what's napkin summer?
Yeah.
Napkin summer is when you see a cute guy putting your name, your phone number, your Instagram, she specified Instagram, and I'll explain why, on a napkin or a piece of paper, and going up, giving it to him, getting out of there.
That smacks.
And she said why you give the Instagram is because you kind of want the encounter to be quick, because it's ballsy, and like you might be kind of, insecure doing it the first few times. You might be a little shy. You drop the napkin, hi, bye.
Run.
So then the Instagram is there just so like he can be like, whoa, who was that?
Yes.
And also it proves who you are as a person. Like going to your gram, everyone's curated it to be like, this is a representation of me to a degree.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
Which a few years ago I would have maybe thought, oh, that feels really superficial.
Not
But now
anymore.
it's like Instagram is like your business card.
Yeah.
kind
Men
of.
know now to ask for Instagram over a phone number because they
Yes.
understand. Well, smart men know because women don't feel safe giving the apex predator our phone number.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, great point.
Yeah.
I don't want you looking that information up.
Right. You can't know where I
Yeah.
live.
You
Yeah.
can have my Instagram, though.
So with the
Okay.
random guy sitting at the coffee shop or the restaurant, I almost wonder if it's just name and Instagram or if you need to be giving strangers your phone number. I mean, I've given out. I got the hackers on my line 24/7 from giving my number out too much. But
You know what? The only reason I say that I think it needs to be phone number is because otherwise it kind of seems like you're doing
Follow
an
me.
influencer play. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like randomly
But
pulling
I
out your
will
Instagram to
also
people.
take a follow. You know, like
but I will take a follow.
I don't-
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah. Yeah.
don't care.
And also follow me.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're
I'm
gonna
interested
see
in
I'm
you.
an influencer anyway.
But hit me with this follow.
But do
Yeah.
you guys like that in terms
Love.
of like
I
being
love
bold?
that.
Yeah,
So
because
good.
It's giving like giggly, like with your friends, like run away. Go,
It's
go, go,
so
go, go.
fun.
and I
love
feel like
that.
it is a pretty good success rate, unless the guy's in a relationship or married.
Yeah.
Who knows what like maybe his story is. But I feel like it is a good way because guys are also like, all right, she did the hard work. I just gotta text her
Yes.
and be like,
Right.
Yes.
And boys are
That's the-
so easily flattered because allegedly people don't come up to them often. Like women don't
Yeah.
approach them
I
first
love when they
often.
say
So
that.
yeah.
Because it's like, shut up. Shut up.
I guess. But I
Shut
guess
up.
I don't
all right, napkin
Yeah,
girl.
napkin
Never
summer.
summer it is. In the
I'm
meantime,
fully up for that.
we're gonna take a quick break, but we will be talking Love Island when we get back.
Yes.
And it's time for our Love Island recap.
Oi! This is the Love Island recap. Don't you know?
Woo! Yes, bombshell.
Yes.
Woo.
Drama.
This sounds like a day party in Miami. The inn
Right.
definitely sounds like a day party in Miami.
just
feels
like
like
gets me
it.
lit.
yeah,
It
yeah,
does.
feels good.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about. Last night's episode,
Oh my
kind of
God.
crazy.
It was
Crazy.
ridiculous.
So they were all in Casa Amor.
Yep.
The OG guys cast had 5 new girls come in. OG
Hotties.
girls went to Casa Amor, met the 5 new guys.
Yep.
And then everything was playing out.
Yep. I feel like we got to get right to the main
Let's get to the
topic.
The climax.
Nick and Alandria getting voted off the island.
Where your jaw's on the like when that happened, my jaw was on the floor.
Or they didn't get voted, I guess. I guess they just got removed because nobody picked them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which none of us really figured out that it was a trick until later. Like I think everyone collectively was like, "What?
What the fuck? No, wholeheartedly, I'm like, how are you getting rid of who we know to be everybody's favorite people? You
Faith.
think I'm gonna stay loyal to this show and you're getting rid of people that I like and you're bringing on people I can give 2 shits about? I don't know these people at all.
Wait,
Go
because the
off.
whole point is that we kind of get to vote and have this role in the show.
Right.
And
We didn't decide this.
And we didn't decide this.
We did not decide
We
this.
didn't get any say in this. And you damn well know that we love Alandria down. We like Nick down.
Like, you're leaving it up to these bombshells who don't know us and don't know them.
we don't know them.
We don't know them. I don't
don't
give a
know
fuck
you.
what they think or who they want to pair up with. I don't give a fuck about that.
When Alandria was standing there alone, it was just like really heartbreaking
Talk
for me
about it.
because she's the every woman.
Mm.
She is like what I
is.
aspire to be, but then also I like find so much relatability in her. And we were saying like her emotional control, the way that she's just like so poised,
Stoic.
but by being like so cool, so hot, she's just everything. And yeah, it was really disappointing to see her alone. And then, you know, she was kind of stone-faced when the girls were saying goodbye, and the moment where they were like, how are you so strong right now?
Because they're all crying.
Because they're all crying. They're all so upset that Alondra is
Sobbing.
leaving. She's the best. And she goes, she kind of like chokes up and is like, I've had to be strong my whole life. And then kind of you could see like kind of cracking and breaking down a little
Shattered.
bit. That was the first time this whole season. This is my first season watching Love Island, Kelsey.
Welcome.
That was the first like really emotional moment for me.
It really was.
It was so, and she keeping it together until that moment. It was, you couldn't have written that any better.
I'm
that was
telling
poetic.
you. Yeah, it was very poetic.
So then
honestly.
she leaves. Nick then is up there alone. No one chooses to couple up with him.
Crazy also. I thought for sure we were finally getting rid of Austin.
Me too. I was
thought
like,
we were
no,
like,
that girl's
bye.
gonna jump and go to Nick, or you know, she's
Shocking.
gonna stay with Nick. Whatever. I don't remember which one she was jumping from and to, but
Jaden.
Yeah,
Jaden
Jaden.
chose Austin.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was a no-brainer to pick Nick. Do you think that
Right.
that's the producers at play a
I
little
don't
bit?
think so.
I think she doesn't know Austin enough yet. Like, I think she just is looking at
He's
height.
tall and yeah,
height.
what? We're crazy.
We
The
know, we're not-
biology is just fucking
That's
with
it.
us.
Sometimes we can't help our monkey brains, our
I'm telling
evolutionary.
you. But to be fair, I didn't think her and Nick were a good pairing.
Nah.
Like
No.
I feel like Nick is a little too smart.
Say
Yeah,
it. Say
for
it with your
her,
chest.
Unfortunately,
I like it.
When she had her heels in the pool,
the
that
heels
kind
in
of
the
pissed
pool
me off.
blew me.
I thought it was funny at first if she was going to be walking around in the pool, but then the fact that she just put her feet in the hot tub with the dirty shoes and then was like, yeah, I guess it isn't good for the pool because my shoes. And then I was pissed and I was like, get the dirty fucking shoes out
Get
of
your
the pool.
dog.
I
It's
said
not
the
the
exact.
pool.
You know how mad I would be if I looked over in my villa and a bitch was sitting there with her fucking dirty high heels.
You're going to give me a UTI?
Baby, I'm getting a yeast infection because you want to put your dirty heels and he literally asked. He's like, "Are you gonna go with your heels in?" And she goes, "Yeah." I thought she was joking.
I have in my life.
I'm like, "This is a
I've
joke."
never seen that happen.
She's
I've
LOL
can
JK.
Even in
confidently
Tampa,
say-
you've never seen that
even
happen?
in Trampa, I have never seen
You've never
that
seen
happen.
a bitch in the
Wow.
pool?
We're smart enough to at least still take our freaking clackety heels off before we dip our nasty dogs. No, not the Sue Shoop.
Sue Shoop?
Shoe
Soup? That is fucking gross.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were kind of shocked that girl
Nick,
Jaden
yeah.
with the shoe soup.
Jaden with the shoe soup.
Jaden with the shoe soup chose Austin over Nick. Nick is vulnerable and single, so then he leaves.
Bye.
Ugh.
Let's explain what goes from there.
I mean, this I think was an Oscar-winning performance on Alandria's part.
You think?
I thought it was
so
cute.
cringy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it
I
was.
quite literally was like, "Oh, my girl's
You
not
know,
an
that was
actress."
the
Me neither, though.
seventh
So.
take, you know?
Yes.
Nick's walking out all sad boy. And I heard the music, and I was about to get up and go get a snack, and my boyfriend was like, wait. And I went, huh? What's that music? Huh? What's that like? And I was like, hold on, they're doing something not normal. And then SUV pulls up.
Yeah.
Door open.
And Nick actually looked surprised to me.
Oh, he had no idea what was going on.
Right.
And our girl Alandria says, Nick, come on.
Right.
Hurry up. Let's go.
Get in the car.
Get in the car.
Like they're going somewhere.
They're
And Nick
going
has
somewhere.
that damn empty suitcase.
it was so empty.
that they always have the goddamn empty suitcases and he's flying
That
through the
props
air.
man
Right.
needs to be fired.
It was so
immediately.
lightweight. I'm like, damn, why don't Nick have nothing in his suitcase?
So he did know because they handed him an empty
Empty
suitcase
suitcase.
that his shit wasn't in there. And they said, we're doing this whole kind of
bit.
where this whole storyline where Alondra is going to pull up in the SUV G-Wagon or whatever the fuck. You're going to hop in and the audience is left on a cliffhanger because we don't know what that means.
Right. And you know what? I'm actually a little bit pissed off that Nick is not going home. Only because he aided in Jeremiah going home when Jeremiah did not deserve to go home at
Speak
all. It
on
was
air.
earned. That karma for him to take his ass
To
home
flip-flop like that.
and miss out on money should have been earned. And now he's going to be able to potentially win the money.
Yeah, so what do we think is going to happen? Where did Alondra and Nick pull off to? We don't have an episode
Ooh,
tonight, so we
what
gotta
if
wait
they
till
get
tomorrow.
to act as like, what if they get to like vote, but their votes are way more weighted than ours? What if that's a thing?
Okay. I spent a lot of time thinking about this.
Okay.
I work in unscripted, entertainment, and I have a lot of producer friends. And we
Okay.
were group chatting hot last night.
Okay.
And it was like, they for sure are taking them somewhere else so that they can watch what's happening in Casa Amor in the villa.
Yes.
And they're going to come back in some capacity. Because we saw Taylor and Sierra both were kind of ready to jump ship. They
Yeah.
were kind of already dipping their toes.
Okay,
in that
so
spicy
Alondria
water.
will get a bird's eye view into what's going on with the
Taylor.
guys, aka Taylor, her connection, and then Nick
Sierra.
is going to be able to spy on Sierra, see what's going
And
on.
I think they're gonna drop them back in the house at an opportune moment.
Yes.
And Sierra and Tay Tay are gonna have to make a decision. You know, it's a test essentially.
Okay.
And Taylor's not going to give a damn, unfortunately.
No, and Olandria did pass the test. She was like, I'm not connecting with any of these guys. I miss Taylor.
yeah, she was like, I miss my man.
I
think
hate
that-
that
I
she's
think-
so loyal to him.
No.
If that is what is going to happen, which does sound about right, I think that Taylor is going to choose Coco,
Yep.
his new girl.
Yes, yes, certainly.
And I think that Sierra might choose Nick.
Yes, I think that.
Because
yeah,
she
I think that
similarly
too.
was like, I miss my man.
Yes, I think that
I don't
too.
think she was like as connected with any of the
No.
new guys.
But I kind of hope she does pick Elin, the guy, because he does seem like the yesified Nick.
He's Yick. He's
Like
Yick.
this-
He's Nick in bold font.
He's a little stretched out.
Yeah,
He's
right.
Gumby Nick.
Right, if you pulled Nick
Yeah.
a little bit. You,
Someone cooked there. He knew too much about Libras.
hello, I said that. I said, why do you
cooked
know so
here.
much about astrology?
Yes.
He was like,
But
oh, you're a
Libra
Libra.
women-
I love a Libra.
I do love.
I
Libra
love a
women.
Libra woman.
I
What
do.
the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, see, my
Explain
seat
it,
was
whore.
wet. I
You
love
should just
that.
say, I love whatever you are. Wink.
Hello, because now I know that you're a whore, and I don't trust you.
You know, not those Libra women slander.
I mean,
Stop it.
I do slander Libras as a whole. I'm saying he's a whore for knowing too much about astrology.
Sequoia doesn't like Libras, which
Stop.
as I was watching it was making me laugh. The whole Libra talk because I was like, Sequoia and I will
Libras
have to
come to the
address
safe
this.
side.
Mind
I
you,
love
50% of my best friends are Libras.
Yeah, okay.
But this way I can spot the issue. You know, that's how I know. Okay, before we move on, we have to talk about the anti-bullying post at the end
messaging. Yeah.
of
Okay.
the episode.
The messaging.
Some of us think it's because of Vanna.
And her
Because
filler.
Vanna was getting a lot of backlash for having a very filled face, a very
Well,
worked on
they're
looking
two
face.
different characters. It's Vanna and her filler. The
Vanna
filler
and
is
her
showing
filler.
up on a different side of the camera. It is a different entity in the villa. It should have two slides. For
Right.
Vanna and her filler.
So
Right.
did this messaging appear after the episode?
it
Something
was
came
the
up on.
break
It was a
right
commercial
before
break.
the last.
Understood. Okay, I
Act.
missed the anti-bullying messaging, but
Yes.
basically, what did it say? It said like, just
They're people
remember
too.
that these cast members are people too.
Yes.
Okay.
And
It was,
people
"We
think
love
it's
you,
Hudda
but-"
or Vanna.
I think, like you said, I think it's an amalgamation
Yeah.
of there has never been a more hated on
Contestant.
cast. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think in like a lottery, I haven't seen this much conversation.
It's because
Really?
it's
Yeah.
daily. Like, it's like that we are spending
Yes.
so much time with them that everybody constantly
Parasocial,
has
baby.
thoughts, as opposed to like once a week episode where you say your
Mhm.
thoughts the day that the episode
True.
comes out, and then
And
you
then
don't
it's
hear much
over.
again until the next
Yeah.
week.
True. And like content creators like us, it's a no-brainer. Of course, we're talking about it on the show every day
Yeah.
because
Right.
everyone's watching. It's
Because
like you
everyone's
got to
watching.
have opinions. You got to talk about it. You got to say something.
Yeah.
And because last season was so big for US that everyone's tuned in this year. Like I feel like there's not one of my friends who's not watching. Whereas last year it was like half and half.
Same. Yes.
You agree?
I push all my friends to watch this.
Oh,
one.
100%.
I do
Yes.
think like while yes, Vanna does have a lot of plastic surgery. She's got a lot of filler. It's still like, you know, you don't want to comment too harshly about
No.
people because she's only a product of our society, and we know this,
Amen.
right? Like
Speak on it.
the discussion has been, we're all aware that the beauty standard
It's
is
unattainable.
absolutely unattainable. The
Warped.
goalpost always moving, so it's more like I have empathy for her because she's a really cute girl.
Super cute. And she knows it.
And
She
she knows-
knows she has a
yeah.
lot of plastic
She said
surgery.
she was everybody's type.
She comments on it.
That's what she said.
She did say
She
that.
said she was everybody's type.
She knows what she's doing.
Okay, well, that is it for today's episode. Kelsey,
You guys.
this was amazing.
This is so
So
fun. I could do this
fun.
forever. Y'all
You
are
guys
so great.
can get more of Kelsey. Listen to her podcast, Confidently Insecure. She's got her book coming out soon. Follow her and follow us at The Daily Dirty. Tune in tomorrow as we get down and dirty in the weeds of the biggest stories in pop culture. And Sequoia and I are about to go on Dialed In.
Yeah, listen, stay here.
Don't go anywhere.
Bye.